about Wenberg's game, or what? You haven't seen him play a game yet, I know yet. But what are they telling you about his game specifically that they like?
Yarmo has seen him play a lot, and our scouts, and obviously there's lots of information. Just as the information I get from them is a smart player, and I have seen him play in a game. I was up in Traverse, so I saw him play twice. This is going to be different tonight. It's going to be a step up tonight, and you're going to play, against bigger, stronger players, and this is going to be a better test for him to see where he's at. But you could see it. He reminds me a little bit of Anisimov out on the ice. Just positionally really sound. It doesn't mean he's not perfect. Nobody is. He's going to make mistakes, and everyone makes mistakes. But that's what he reminded me of, is just the way he, real headsy, understanding where his two forwards are, two forwards low. He's, moves himself out in a good defensive position, but also enough skill and sense of anticipation, I think, through his experience. And again, just being a smart player that allows him to make offensive plays.
Is he a guy that maybe coaches will admire more than like fans would recognize a wow factor? You know what I mean?
It's little subtle things that, as coaches, they pick up. I think the general fan is looking for maybe speed and physicality and stick handling, and for coaches it's more about position and where is he out on the ice, in any given situation.
You're going to reshuffle the lines probably a handful of times in the next couple of weeks as you figure things out. For the morning skate, you had Wenberg playing with Hjalmarsson, you had Dano playing with Anisimov. For young kids playing in their first NHL experience, was there any reason, like maybe having a countryman to lean on, or is it purely just hockey decisions? Just
hockey decisions, and just seeing, again, we're going to have to see how these guys play. And it's different than Traverse City. It's you're playing against men now, so, and it's a chance for us to see these guys play with NHL players, meaning, play with other guys that have on our team have been in the league. So you're also looking for that too, and see how they mix with each other.
Is it a little easier? You want to have some set lines to go into tonight with defensive pairings that you can rotate even during the game, switch things up as much as you want?
The lines may get shifted this game too. Just seeing, trying different combinations. Again, just giving guys opportunities, and I think that's what training camp is about. These are early games. We got a lot of young players here. Give them some ice time, put them in some situations, and see how they handle them.
Is there an advantage for Kirby Reichel? He had a little bit of preseason experience last year before he went back to juniors. I think it's still his first game in this building also, but he's got a little bit of background as opposed to Dano and Wenberg, a couple of the younger guys having their first go of it.
Anytime you're able to experience something once, it prepares you for the next time. So it might be a little bit easier for him, but I'm sure the butterflies are still going. There's always those nerves, and that's why you want, us playing big games. Even the previous, the lockout year, that was important that we play big games coming down the end of the season for experience. Last year playing playoff games was big for us for experience, and it's no different for these young guys in exhibition games. You go through it once, go through it twice. The more times you do it, the more comfortable you become, and then it's a little bit easier to go out on the ice and do your job.
What have you been told about Simon Hjalmarsson, and what do you feel like you need to see from him in this training camp to earn a spot?
Just want to see him play hard. Again, understand the systems and work through the systems and execute those. But heard a lot of similarities to Wenberg. You watch them out on the ice. They look like two different players. But I've heard the same thing about both of them. That they're both smart players, and Hjalmarsson's a guy who maybe offensively might have a little bit more flash to his game, maybe than Wenberg. But Wenberg's still a talented player. But I'm excited to see, because again, you've heard a lot of good things. But again, it's a different league, different rink, different players, and so the game is a little bit different than European hockey.
You give him a lot of games, Hjalmarsson, just to.
We got to see. We have to see, and there's lots of guys that fall into that category of we have to see. Timmy Eriksson's a guy that we got to see. Yeah. Weber did some great things down in Springfield. Coaches liked him down there. Heard really good things. It's another guy that we have to see. And there's guys up front that we have to do the same thing.
Yeah. When do you anticipate starting to trim down?
Haven't really discussed that yet with Yarmo, but I think once we get through, obviously, these two games here, practice tomorrow, We got another game. What do we got? Pittsburgh on Tuesday, and then it's a day off, and that might be a time. That's a possibility, but again, it still hasn't been finalized. Well, he's out skating today, so again, it's day to day. We're just being cautious, overly cautious with him.
Was he doing drills with contact with your guys?
Yeah, he was doing some bumping.
You made mention yesterday it's kind of hard to differentiate players when you're doing passing and shooting drills. Everyone kind of looks the same. Everyone kind of has those down from doing them for 15, 20 years. You're going to make some decisions, start getting feel for players tonight in game action. Is it for players? Does it almost feel like the start of camp today? They were working out, but this is where you can prove yourself as a player.
Players always want to play games. They don't want to practice. They know that, and it is hard too, because as a coach you want your guys to go hard. You know, in scrimmages you want to scrimmage, but you don't get the same. To me, you don't get the same work in scrimmages as you do in exhibition games, and you know you can try to control it a little bit more. I think in practices when you're out on the ice doing the drills, you know, demanding more. But players aren't going to play. You know, Jack Johnson isn't going to go as hard into the corner versus Matty Calvert as he is with a St. Louis Blue player tonight. And Jack's going to go in harder, and that's just the way that it is. So you do, because this is, you know, really the real first test for these players.
Do you have any indication when you might have Horton?
No indication.
Out there. Do you get daily updates, or is that
daily updates again? And you know, I listen to what Jarmo says, and it's exactly that. It's day to day.
Has he gotten better in the last few days?
Yeah.
Oh.
Getting better every day. All right, guys.